Hey there, everyone. My name is Melody Dixon, and I'm the CEO and founder of Pro Event Planners, a corporate event planning company here in South Florida. My intention with reaching out today is to help those people who are industry partners or customers who may have had their events scheduled for the next 60 to 90 days and are adversely affected by the coronavirus. I know that events like South by Southwest, this annual media festival that's very big in Austin, has been canceled. Coachella has been postponed to October 9th to the 16th. Ultra Music Fest from Miami, canceled. Miami Open, canceled. NASCAR Dixie Vodka 400 in Homestead, canceled. Facebook's annual F8 conference, canceled, or they may go to virtual. World Athletics Indoor Championship, and even Miami's Cayocho. I mean, this coronavirus is wreaking havoc on businesses everywhere, business travel, industry conferences. Right now, it's not looking so good, but this is not our first time going through this. We've been through SARS, we've been through H1N1 and MERS. And for the countries who really suffered because of this, I'm sure they're getting like chills right now, like flashbacks. All I can say to you is we have to be proactive and don't live out of fear. I know this coronavirus is kind of slowing travel and events to just about a trickle at this point, but there are things you can do to be proactive so you don't go out of business and so you don't lose your job or lose your deposits. To my industry partners, I want to say don't spend time kind of clawing back on cancellation fees and deposits or lamenting at the loss of a great potential piece of business. Just divert your sales efforts to something else. Look at it as an opportunity to be creative and resourceful. So if you used to have a clothing store that people would walk into, try to do online fashion shows and offer to ship things to customers. That way you kind of develop a following. They get to see what the pieces look like online, and they get to give their comments, ask their questions all online, and you could ship to them. So you're still selling, you just don't have physical traffic to your door. And that's going to be easy. People love fashion. They're always on their phones. So reach out to your customers. Hopefully, in them coming to your store, you've collected some kind of a way to connect with them. If not, search engine optimizations, Google AdWords, just do the best you can. Don't give up. People who haven't given up, or events that haven't given up and they've found a way to make it happen, are Adobe. They have an annual live summit that they do. They're going to take this whole summit online. TED 2020, supposed to be held in Vancouver, April 20th to the 24th, but it's been postponed to the 20th of July, 20th to the 26th. And they may even have a virtual conference instead. Shanghai Fashion Week, instead of doing an in-person live audience, they're doing live streamed online because of course, coronavirus. So there's ways around that. There's Zoom, there's Skype. You can still connect with people, show them your products, answer their questions, provide service as best as you can. There's ways around it. Just don't run around like the sky is falling. Just be proactive. Here's what I suggest you do for your clients, and this is going to show them that you're of value to them. Instead of, let's say they come to you and they want to cancel their event. Suggest moving the event or the group to a future date and hold the deposit for the new date, because this thing is not going to last forever. Or if they're open to postponing it and they're not sure of what date in the future, hold the deposit and kind of lock them into the price to keep it as a benefit. And of course, there's deadlines by which they need to decide. You don't want to hold this deposit forever. Cost of living goes up. You don't want to not make a wise business decision. But for right now, you want to make it easy for them to work with you. And if they insist on canceling, just go ahead and cancel. Give a full refund if you haven't provided any services yet, but they have paid. Or if you provided some service, give a partial refund because your time is valuable as well. And if you've used your time to provide a service, then of course you should be paid for that. Respond to a cancellation request with patience and compassion, and with anticipation that your customers will return. Just think about the psychology of the people responding to this type of crisis right now. They're fearful, they don't want to go out to places where there's large numbers of people sneezing and coughing on everything, or in a place where someone may be unaware that they have it, and they touch you, they hug you, they sneeze, and the droplets it can go south really fast. So think of that mindset when you speak to them. Even though you're fearful yourself, just think long term, think marathon, think long game. These are your customers, and God's willing, they'll still be around after this passes. So you want to be as respectful, as understanding as possible to them and their situation, and try to make a decision that's mutually beneficial for you, because you're running a business. This is not, a charity event. But at the same time, you want repeat business, you want positive word of mouth. To customers, I get the fear thing. I have a family too. I want to protect them. And don't just run to do things out of fear and start hoarding. I work in a hotel, and reservations have been canceling like crazy. It's like watching the stock market tank. But, we understand what's going on, and we're there for our customers. One tip for you: if you've made your reservation online through an online travel agent like an Expedia or Booking.com, don't even try calling them right now. Wait times are up to like 3 hours for some people. You've been emailed confirmation when you made your reservation with them. Open up that email and you can try to cancel through that. They have reached out to the hotels and explained the situation and have okayed cancellations up to a certain point. So call the hotels and work that out with their reservations department. The brands like Choice Hotels, Wyndham, the Marriotts, they have policies in place to manage that and to help their customers with the cancellation policy. If you've booked an event and you're locked into a contract, find it and read it again. This time, read all of it. What I'm about to say, let me just give a disclaimer. I'm not an attorney, and this is not legal advice. However, based on my experience, there is a clause in event contract called a force majeure. It's French for superior force. It is a contract provision that allows a party to suspend or terminate the performance of its obligations when certain circumstances beyond their control arise, making performance inadvisable, commercially impracticable, illegal, or impossible. And the verbiage often goes like this: neither party hereto will be liable or responsible to the other for any loss or damage, or for any delays or failure to perform due to causes beyond its reasonable control, included but not limited to acts of God, strikes, epidemics, wars, riots, civil unrest, flood, fire, tsunami, volcano, sabotage, airspace closure, ground stops, a U.S. Department of State travel warning, or any other circumstances of like character. super wordy, but very necessary. So if you've locked yourself into a contract with a venue for your wedding or for your meeting, call these people and have an open and honest conversation. Find out what they're doing as far as protecting their customers using their services during this time frame. If you are working with an event planner, they most likely would have made sure that you have this clause in your agreement, and they would have already reached out to the vendors for your venue, your photographer, flowers, and see what can be done. Don't wait until the day before and call the venue saying that you've decided to cancel the event. The moment you hear all this going on and you're hesitant and you've discussed it, call the venue, because you may have a greater chance of getting monies back if the venue have not bought any perishables. Like if they've already bought the food for your wedding, if they have bought all the flowers, I mean, hired, paid, spent your money in essence, it's going to be pretty difficult. So I'd say as soon as you can, give the venue a call and have a discussion. Once you've decided what the next step is, whether it's to cancel the event or change the date to sometime in the near future, make firm plans to return or to use their services, because they're working with you and they're running a business as well, and they're trying to help you during this time. If you express a firm desire to return and patronize these companies, then they oftentimes will be flexible in helping you through this process. Just an insider tip. If you have decided to move forward with your event, and let's say the venue has more than one space and you've rented the smaller one, ask for the larger one if there's no one going to be using the space during your date. That's going to help you prevent crowding, and that's one of the big concerns with the coronavirus. People all scrunched up together. Consider staggering food and drink stations around the room and farther apart, and have more stations around so you don't have a lot of crowding. Also, serve your food already packaged or plated, ready to go, so that there's not people hanging around trying to forage through chips or salad or whatever it is. It's already ready. They just grab it and go. It's like a conveyor belt. They come up, they go. When possible, if you're doing any kind of transportation from, let's say you're doing a progressive event, you're going, I don't know, from dinner to a movie to a show, and you have transportation set up for your clients, have more than one vehicle. That way you can put a smaller number of people in the vehicle, and you have more shuttles going through so that you're not stuffing a lot of people into a van. Just, open the windows, just avoid crowding as much as possible. The end. Face masks really don't prevent the virus from spreading. They're not recommended by the CDC to prevent the spread of the virus, and these should not be provided to the general community at events. During events, what I suggest is to, if you must have your event, if you are going to have your corporate event, and it's imperative that people come together in one place to do so, display signs, posters, table tents, digital images reminding participants of prevention measures. Assign a point person for participants to use as a resource should they develop symptoms or have questions. If somebody appears to have a symptom, that point person will definitely give them a mask and call for call a healthcare provider and announce that this person will be going to the facility. They should not just show up because the medical facilities need to prepare in order to receive somebody with the coronavirus. It would be terrible if someone who's at the urgent care for a sprained ankle would leave with coronavirus instead. It's Please call them first, let them know that this person is coming and what uh, the initial diagnosis is based on the point person's point of view. During your event, announce actions that the participants should take to protect themselves and limit infections at the start, in the middle, and at the end of the event. Just periodically throughout the speeches, in between speakers, have information available. Have hand wash stations, hand sanitizer stations, if you can. If you have any questions on what to do if your wedding or your meeting is scheduled during this trying time for the world with the coronavirus, reach out to me. My name is Melody. My email is info@myproeventplanners. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have or point you in the right direction. Please be safe.